It's one of those
brilliant.
late night conversations where quoting The Departed just segued into Disney characters for some reason. And
maybe not. Maybe.
Are you a co-op?
I appear to be a co-op.
so fucking potatoes or something.
So funny.
I can tell this is something y'all do a lot.
We got Jack Manning in the house all the way from England. What part of England are you out of?
Oh, so I live in a tiny little town called Huddersfield, which you'll probably haven't heard of, but it's in the north of England. So near Manchester, which is where we have like Oasis and the Smiths and Manchester's kind of like the city that's got the city. It's our nearest big city with like a scene and stuff.
Oh,
right. Gotcha. That's awesome.
When you say we say Manchester, I've never been to England before, but I feel like, Manchester. When I don't know.
Oh, dude, there's so many towns where we live. I mean, when I was on tour with Bravado Cartel, we realized there's so many little towns in Massachusetts that have like the same names as towns.
Yeah.
In our county, there's like a Wakefield down the street from us.
Oh, get out of here.
Oh, dude, we got a Wakefield, we got a Scarborough. I've seen a bunch. Dude,
it's so
we probably just got all the same names from England.
Yeah, literally. I mean? Yeah, exactly.
We probably just sold all the names.
It makes sense that's literally where we came from.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense. We're like, oh, we got that. And we're like, oh yeah, they probably like.
They do call it New England, don't they? They call
it England.
So really, we're kind of from the same place almost. We're the same.
Same gene pool, technically, I suppose.
I have a little bit of English in my gene pool. Actually, my grandfather's last name was Earl.
Yeah. Oh wow, so he was an important dude then.
Yeah.
I think
he'd have had some.
Duke of Earl.
Duke of Earl, yeah.
So
a lot of my family come from there. Come from like England. I think it's like my name is from like a part in England. I think I don't know if it's still around, but it's
Chesborough.
Chesborough. Chesbrough.
I can believe that's a very English shout. That sounds like a town in England. I can believe.
Yeah.
It.
You can look it up. You see like the family crest, and they it shows you this stuff. And my grandfather has a bunch of lineage from it. It's really cool.
Is there a statue of you like in the town centre? You with your axe?
Oh God. I probably not, but that would be pretty fucking cool.
They need to get on that though if they haven't done so already.
Yeah, they do.
I think I've seen John once as a bronze statue. I don't know where. It might have been a dream.
It's scattered all over the world in various places.
Yeah, John.
I totally wanted to be English when I was growing up, because my first taste of music was my dad playing the Beatles in our living room when I was like 5 years old, and ever since then, the Beatles are embedded into my blood, and since then, I always wanted to be English, and even in my early recordings, like that I recorded, I try to sound.
Yeah.
So my dad's like, Derek, you're American. Like, stop trying to sound like the Beatles. You're not English. I'm like, I can't help myself. And then yesterday, I wrote a song and I recorded and showed it to him. He's like, you're still sounding like the Beatles. I'm like, I can't help myself.
Oh, I know.
Whether I'm 10 or if I'm 32, I'll just never stop sounding like them.
We all do it though. I like fucking when I like sing. Sometimes I'm like I'm trying to sound like I'm from Texas or like a Delta blues, but I'm a white boy from England. But it always amuses me about, like you're saying you wanted to be English when you were growing up. Like you guys in the States, I think you have this really fascinated by English people, and you think it's really cool to be English. But if you came here, like we're just a little America, really. We're the same as you guys.
Well, that's true. Yeah. It's like America all in general. Like, especially if you're writing a book, it really helps if you're English, because we Americans take you way more seriously if you're speaking with an English accent. Like, oh, English. Whoa.
No, it's mad.
It's just sophisticated. It's a sophisticated way you guys talk. We feel like we sound like morons, like from New York and Boston. Well, like, get in the car.
Hey, wicked pizza.
Wicked. I love I've been in Massachusetts now a bunch of times, like with the band, and obviously I was there by myself, and I love you, the accent. I'm picking up little Bostonisms, like everything's wicked something.
Yeah.
That's wicked a lot. Yeah.
I love to hear English people say wicked. That's hilarious.
Wicked, yeah. But we have like I feel like if there's an English character in an American movie or TV show or whatever, they all got a really like posh, refined, sophisticated voice. But we have like on like what you guys call them projects, like on our council estates, we have like people don't sound anything like that at all.
Hey,
Like,
Jack, have you ever
yeah.
seen the movie Snatch?
Snatch. Oh yeah, that's a classic. Yeah, I've seen Snatch.
Is that kind of like an example of like different dialects or accents?
They're like so our Cockney, we call it Cockney. That's like London.
Yeah,
But that's like, you know, like your New York, like, hey, I'm working here. Cockneys are kind of like, one of them.
because there's another movie that's based on there's a before Snatch called Lock, Stock, and Two
Smoking Barrels. Yeah,
that's more I think, in line.
That's what the London people talk like. Yeah.
Yeah, they're talking about this guy. He's trying to pull into a parking space, and it's wide open. And the guy driving, he's like, I can't fit. He's like, it's fucking wide open. You can park a jumbo jet in there.
Yeah.
I can't do it. He's like, I fucking love it.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, that's such a great movie. I love one of my favorite, by like opposite, kind of all of my favorite movies all seem to be like Boston movies. Like The Departed is probably one of my top 5.
Me and Steve have seen The Departed so many times. We started reciting the movie as if we're Mickey Mouse. So we say all the lines in a Mickey Mouse voice on the phone to each other for an hour, and it makes no sense to anybody else. But we'll just roll on the floor laughing.
It's one of those late night conversations where quoting The Departed just segued into Disney characters for some reason. And
maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Are you a co-op?
You're here to be a co-op.
So fucking potatoes or something.
So funny.
I can tell this is something y'all do a lot.
Yeah. But how are you dealing with like the coronavirus stuff over there? I don't know if you've been paying attention to how we're doing it over here, but do you see any correlation or any differences in the way you guys are handling compared to how we're doing?
A little bit. I mean, I probably keep up with the news as much as the next guy. I'm not checking as much about. I think it's pretty similar. I mean, so our lockdown, basically we can, I don't know what it's like for you guys. We can leave the house for going to the grocery store at the supermarket, and you're allowed it's really vague. So we call it one daily exercise a day. So you can leave.
Whoa. So how do they track that? If you go out, like how would they police that?
Well, that's the thing. It's kind of so vague that I don't think they've really thought about how you can, because there are loads of memes and jokes about someone like walking to like the grocery store to buy more beer, and then the police car flashes, then they start pretending like they're going for a jog because it's like their daily exercise.
I jog with a 12-pack.
Yeah,
exactly.
Jogging with a Budweiser case on top of it. But yeah, so we can leave a house once a day for exercise. So like I take my dog for a walk once a day. And you can go to the supermarkets, and same, I guess, with you guys, what you call key workers. So if you're working at the grocery store, or like in John's case, if you're working in medicine in hospitals. But other than that, most people have. I don't know, like I saw, it's crazy that you guys are actually having, I don't know what Shawarma states it was, you're protesting the lockdown, aren't you? Or some parts of.
I'm against it. I'm totally against that protesting. I'm like, you know what? Like, stop being stupid. Just be safe. You can stay in the house. Like, you're gonna. And then one thing too is a lot of people my age they're like, oh well, we're not gonna get it, and it's like, but you can easily infect a lot of other people and hurt them. And kill them.
It's hard. There's a lot of that over here. Like I have a bunch of my friends, like obviously we got to like just knuckle down and do it, and a lot of us are taking it seriously. Then sort of other people, like one of my friends, she's a cop. She's a cop over in the UK, a policewoman, and she was telling me yesterday about she's like crashing house parties and telling everybody to go home, and like people are having barbecues and stuff. It's not immediately obvious. These are kind of more like the minority, but some people are just thinking, fuck it, doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on in this country. It's just ignorance on a mass scale. People are just very stupid, and they think, oh, I'm fine, and it's been long enough, so we can go back to work. And they don't understand how these pandemics work. You can't just, if the numbers start to go down a little bit, that doesn't mean everything's fine. We can just go back to work. You like literally, like I said earlier, if you do that, this thing could get way worse. You could
absolutely.
All the 2 month and a half or however long it's been, we've been inside. All that can probably just get erased if we go back, and the problems get worse.
It would be, because I have family out in Hong Kong where it kind of the first big wave originated from, and they had that it started to peter down, and then they had a kind of another spike, and now it's petering down. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, obviously it's not great, and I'm really lucky I can claim unemployment, and I've got a roof over my head. But at the end of the day, it's not being asked to stay home and watch Netflix for 3 months. It's it's not the worst thing in the world. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, it's not ideal for sure, but it could be. And you know what I mean? It could be. And we've got technology now. You can do stuff like this. You can talk to your friends any time.
The best time to get quarantine is now. You can literally stay in touch with people all over the world.
Oh, right. Exactly. Case in point.
Keep your sanity. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's so easy to get into a rut when in something like this. You can just do the same thing every day. As soon as I found out that I was furloughed and I was going to be gone for 2 months, 2.5 months, I was like, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start eating extremely healthy. Because if I don't, I'm gonna kill myself on my couch. So I've been getting I have an exercise bike. I've been doing that for like 20-25 minutes a day, and then eating as little as I possibly can, and I've already seen tremendous results in the 2 weeks I've done it. So it's amazing. It's like, I'm home and there's nothing to do, but I'm working on myself. This is like an amazing time. Some people don't even get this type of a thing to happen to them in their lifetime, but I actually have a chance to like reverse and get my health back in good standings. Totally. And so that's
good, man. Fair play. Right on. Like you say, we always complain in this day and age, like we're too busy. The world is too busy. We've got too much on. And this is the first, like what you said, Derek, is the first time where you can actually do those little projects, maybe like a fitness thing, weight loss thing, whatever. Maybe you want to learn it. Like these are times that we can do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Learn a hobby or finish a hobby or something.
Yeah. Well, I bet you've been doing a lot of recording and all sorts in your little home studio, John.
Yeah, I've been, tinkering around. I just got upgraded my software, so I've just been messing around a lot with that and like just recording different stuff. So we're trying to get this album done, and it's hard to get. We can't even get together to do it, so we're just trying to like do it separately now.
Oh yeah,
right.
Record all my guitar tracks, send it to Steve. He's got to do his bass tracks, send the bass tracks to me.
Yeah, so it actually works. It's possible.
It is.
That's good.
I did one bass.
Technology.
Yeah, for one track. So.
Yeah.
Jack, when did you first get into music?
I got a guitar for my birthday when I was like 10, like a really cheap, shitty $20 guitar. I guess because my parents I was kind of a weird kid, so they didn't know what to get me. Like, he's not really into sports. He's not really into like Spider-Man or action figures or whatever. I'll just give him a guitar seat. And I kind of like just taught myself. It was about 3 years of just fiddling around with it. And then I started getting guitar lessons. But I guess, my dad would take me to open mics when I was like 14. And I used to record them on a little like actual cassette recorder that you can't even find. I have little cassettes when I was like 13, 14. I'd write a song, record it on cassette. Yeah, they're probably still there. So yeah, I guess like playing in public. Yeah, like 14, and then I got like I played in a jazz band as well for a little bit when I was in school, like outside of my school. A bunch of adults played jazz guitar, and then I sort of started doing like paid gigs when I was like maybe 16, and I've always kind of just done it on and off since then. Really.
Yeah, that's awesome. I noticed so when I first met you guys came over here, and I think we played at O'Brien's in like Saugus or Lynn. It was right down the street from where I used to live. Okay. And you guys closed the show out. Actually, it was us. It was Cooped Out with John Fiore. Yeah. And then it was you guys, and it was such a fun night. And I'm so glad we had that night because we met you guys, we met John and everybody. But I remember seeing you, and you were playing keys with the band, and then I saw you play guitar, and I was like, this guy's a jack of all trades. He can play a lot of
no pun intended.
Yeah, right. But I'm also, I started with piano. That was my first instrument. And then one day I was like, I told my dad, I was like, I want to play live, but I don't want to lug a piano around. He's like, I'll get you a guitar, because my dad's a bass player, and he's like, you want to play bass? And I'm like, not really. I want to play guitar so I could play chords and sing with it. That's what I wanted to do. So he bought me like a cheap electric Squire guitar, and that's kind of the similar story as you. But I ended up teaching myself chords, and that's how I got started. But do you play anything else besides guitar and piano?
So I learned sax for a couple of years, alto sax, and it's just one of those. My dad got it me for like a birthday present because he got this nice sax, and like and it's like, I guess, investing in like a sax, and I had sax lessons, and it just kind of petered off. But how cool would it be, like you said, if at these gigs I play a bit of keyboard sometimes at guitar, and then just whipping out a sax? Like, there's you can't not be cool with a sax. Do you know what I mean?
Are you familiar with the band Grizzly Bear?
Yes, yeah.
The bass player Chris Taylor, I saw Grizzly Bear live twice. The bass player, he has the bass on. He's playing bass in the middle of this is just one song. He'll put the bass down on the stand in the middle of the song. He'll pick up a flute, stop playing the flute. He'll put the flute down and pick up like a clarinet, plays the clarinet, and then he has like 15 instruments in front of him on the floor.
Really?
And it's just like I'm watching the show, but my head is this way, looking at him the whole time. Like, what instrument is he going to pick up now? Like, it's just so bizarre.
That's mad. Oh, dude. So I saw one of my all-time musical heroes, like easily, is Steve Winwood. So he's like and he's also a keys player and a guitar player and a singer. So he's always been one of my idols. And I got to see him supporting Eric Clapton in London a couple of years ago. Me and my roommate.
That's really cool.
And so kind of similar to what you said, but basically he had a 5-piece band. He had it was him, and there was the piano that he was at. There was a guitar. They had a guy on like percussion, bongos. They had a drummer, and then the guy playing like tenor sax. And I swear, man, all 5 of these guys, including Steve, they just swapped. Like Steve was on the guy that had just been knocking out a crazy sax solo. He'd been going and play piano. They just like rotated randomly. I think every one of the 5. I'd never seen anything like it. That was mind-blowing.
Yeah. Wow. I saw Steve Winwood a couple years ago as well. He opened for Steely Dan. It was really, really good.
Oh, I bet that was a show. I love me some Steely
Dan.
It
was really. Only thing, it was like the middle of July and it was outside and the seats were so close to each other, so everyone's just like sweating all over each other.
No, one of them.
Super uncomfortable, but it was a good show.
It was a hot day when I saw him. It was like July. My roommate got heat stroke. She had to leave the gig early. Bless her.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
That's insane. But so Bravado, you guys were you were in that band for a while, and so much energy, so much fun to watch you guys. And then you decided to just kind of go solo. What's the story with that?
Well, a little bit. It's a lot of things really. Like I felt so bad leaving the band because they're still my best mates. I still meet up with Will, still call Joff and stuff on my phone, still hang out with them all the time. Still Shane, but it's mostly just sending like inappropriate memes to each other. But
he seems like the one to do that with.
Oh, dude, we have the band. I guess you guys probably have a band group chat, and Shane, because I'm still on the group chat and stuff, and he's sending. He sends memes. We're all like guys. We have a gross out guy sense of humor. There's not much we won't find funny, but he'll send a meme. We're like, dude. No,
he always goes too far. That's what John does with us.
Oh, I can imagine.
John's our way. Yeah.
The silent assassin. I can imagine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's me. I'll take.
John,
we all have a dark sense of humor, but John will always go that extra mile, and we're like,
John reminds us. It's like, okay, we get it, John. You're on top.
But I was hanging out with Cooped Out a bunch in Boston, and they're kind of the same. But they have when I knew them, they were a 3-piece. We have this new guitarist, Jimmy. Awesome guy who I got on really well with him, but he's kind of like they just make fun of him the whole time. They have all these like hazing rituals. Like I went to see them play a show in I can't remember what it was when I was there last year, and he went into the bathroom and the rest of the guys like locked the door and stood in front of the door. It's like, hey guys,
that's fucked up.
They just take a piss out of him all the time.
We just had John on a few episodes ago.
Yeah,
he's a lot of fun. I love talking to him about the music industry because he's got a lot of insight on it.
Oh, he's very, very. He's an old head, very much like myself. He's an old head on young shoulders. Is John? He's really got.
Yeah.
And him and Will, when they met, they're so similar, and both in kind of as people, and also their approach to music and their outlook on music, and what's maybe gone wrong with it. Those two, literally, as soon as they met, you could almost see it. They just completely clicked. Those two.
Right. Really, yeah, absolutely. I could see that with the two of them, for sure. So. You went solo and you just released The Length of This Room, which is fantastic, man. Really enjoyed that record. Really it's so, I almost found like, I don't know, there was almost like a sadness to it. In a good way though, because I love being in a gloomy mood and like moody songs.
Sad music is just the best.
You just need it sometimes. Usually when I'm depressed, people like try to cheer me up, and I'm like, I kind of just want to be in this mood. I kind of want to be sad for a while, if that makes any sense.
Oh, dude, totally. I love it. There's nothing. And do you guys ever do that thing like sometimes you're driving or you're on the bus, whatever, and a sad song comes on, you just imagine, you're staring moodily out the window. It's like
yeah.
Exactly. But no, so an album I listened to. Thank you very much for the kind comments, by the way, Derek. Appreciate it. And I did kind of intend for it to be a little bit on the, I guess, sadder side. Because when I play a gig, I do a lot of covers gigs. Like that's my bread and butter job back home now. So when you're playing like a private party or a wedding, you're like, you get people dancing and singing the covers, and it's great. I love doing that, telling jokes in between songs, but like it's so different from the music I put out on this EP, and I wanted a chance to like show the kind of a more the darker, sadder side, I guess. The album I listened to a lot and was inspired by was Heartbreaker by Ryan Adams. So I don't know if you've heard of that.
Okay, yeah, Ryan Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that album very well. I used to
Oh, it's cool.
I used to listen to that on repeat, man.
For sure. Yeah.
I can see like the connection right away, man, with you and Ryan Adams for sure.
Oh, thank you, dude. But yeah, Heartbreak, and he's just not afraid to be really. There's a lot. It took a lot of risks on that album. Like, there's that song "Call Me on Your Way Back Home," and it's like 2 minutes long, but that's probably one of the most beautiful songs ever written. Honestly,
oh my
God, it's
God.
a great album.
Isn't there a song called Amy?
Oh, yeah, there is.
That's a beautiful song.
That is, yeah.
It's really good. But
that's just a great album.
Speaking of that, well, I was gonna say, I don't know if you remember. I can't remember when this was recorded, but I have a video. I think I sent it to you on Messenger.
Yeah.
Let me see if it was at the Opus.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was me doing a cover of a Beach Boys song, if I remember.
Yeah, correctly. I love it. I have it here somewhere, but yeah, maybe at some point in this in the podcast we can play, because it's the vocals are just so amazing.
Thank you, dude.
One of my favorite. Yeah, it's right. If you guys just want to look real, I can edit it if you don't want me to keep it in there. But I just want to show you guys real quick. Let me share my.
Do it.
Oh man, my head's inflating by the minute, just getting these compliments from. I'll just sit back and you guys just keep telling me how great I am. I'll just sit here.
The headphones aren't going to fit soon. Yeah.
No, I look like a pilot wearing these motherfuckers.
I know, right? Yeah,
oh wow, that was such a great night as well.
Oh, it was.
Such a great game.
Yeah, so you guys, it's only like 4 minutes. So yeah, check it out. I love the vocals. Is that too loud for you guys?
No, it's perfect.
You can hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love the background of The Simpsons.
Oh no! Yeah, that made.
I was just gonna say, I wish we didn't have that up.
Oh, I loved it,
It's cool. Like.
Bartenders chilling in the back.
Yeah.
You get one guitarist to another.
Yeah.
Little hammer on. I always call it the tribute. Just like
yeah.
But yeah, that's
oh man,
I'll cut it there. That's just love that performance. It's so,
thank you so much, man.
So freaking amazing.
Yeah, man. What were you thinking like when you were going about that? Because that song transcends music. It's like,
oh, it's bonkers. It's crazy.
It's one of the most beautiful tunes ever written in the history of music. So when you attacked it, did you want to do like because obviously your version's a little bit different. It's what were you thinking when you did it?
Well, so I was again in one of my all-time, along with Ryan Adams, one of my all-time greats is Jeff Buckley. I know a lot of people would put him in there,
Jeff
like
Buckley,
whatever.
sure,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, yeah.
I can hear definitely some Jeff Buckley influence in the new record too.
Oh, thank you.
I could tell you were influenced, and that's such a good person to be influenced by.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I wrote when I was at college. I wrote like my dissertation, like a 10,000-word dissertation on Jeff Buckley. Like, I just worship him. I'm like, I'm next geek level. Like, I can tell you the town he was born in, bloody his first guitar riffing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he had lived? All the albums he could have put out, like even I think when the first album he released, well, the only album he released. Yeah. Afterwards, I think it was like Mick Jagger, Bob Dylan. They were all like, "This guy is the future of music."
Yeah, they were.
And then tragedy hits. It's like unbelievable.
I know exactly. Yeah, and I think now because he was a musician, he was a singer, guitarist, whatever. But so I imagine with all the technology and stuff available, he'll be doing some kind of, I guess, similar. We're only speculating. I can imagine him doing a little bit kind of like going down the Radiohead route with like technology and sampling. But who knows? I mean, he was. It's crazy because if that's one album, if he was only going to do one album, like what an album to leave.
Yeah.
But I
love. Go ahead.
Sorry. Well, to answer your question, I'm really bad at answering questions. By the way, I veer off on a million different tangents.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah. All podcasts are like that, man. But yeah, you asked. So that song there, it kind of. The first time I played that at a gig, I had like Jeff Buckley did at the Live at Chine, so the album that they put out that was like a live recording before Grace. There's that one live album that's out, and he has like a Telecaster plugged in with loads of, so most singer-songwriters be an acoustic guitar, right? And he obviously has like a Telecaster, loads of reverb yanked up in it, kind of gives it, if you listen to that album, like he does Hallelujah at that live gig, it gives it that kind of angelic, like the reverb almost sound. So I first played that, I learned that, I thought like it's a song no one's going to try and cover. I should try and I like taking songs that aren't typically ones you can do on an acoustic and seeing if you can fit it in. And I did it with that, and with my electric. So I got my Telecaster, just clean setting on the guitar, played it, and it kind of sounds, I thought at the time, a little bit like something off of the first Jeff Buckley album, the one before the live album that they put out just before Grace.
Yeah, they just
really
released
cool.
that on. I bought that like a year ago from my sister.
Oh, it's great.
Birthday or Christmas gift.
Lover, You Should Have Come Over is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Oh, I think, David Bowie said it. We have a show in England, like a radio show called Desert Island Discs, where people go on and they choose 8 pieces of music, 8 songs that they can, if they're stuck on a desert island, you're only allowed to listen to 8. And so like they tell them talk about what their 8 songs are. And Grace had only just been released, only been out like 6 months, and David Bowie went on it and he was like, "Oh yeah, Lover, You Should Have Come Over. That's my first choice for my 8."
Wow.
He is.
It's when he sings the line, he's like, something about a kiss upon my shoulder. Like his vocal part, it's just so emotional. It's just like,
brilliant.
Nothing. I actually heard one of Steve's buddies. He played that live once, and I had never heard the song before. So my first time hearing it was somebody doing a cover of it. And I looked over at Steve and I was like, "Did he write that song? Did he write that?"
Yeah.
He's like, "No, that's Jeff Buckley." And I was like, "I got to go pick up that record."
Oh mate, it changed my life, honestly. Like, so you get that when you discover an artist, and it's just like, even though loads of people love Jeff Buckley, but maybe you were talking about the Beatles, that feeling when you discover an artist and you feel like it's yours, like this is my thing.
Yeah.
Even though like a bunch of people like the Beatles, Jeff Buckley, like everybody loves him, but you get into it and you feel like, this is my guy, this is my band. You know?
Yeah.
It's like a phenomenon. Like so many people can claim that it's theirs, but it's still an authentic experience of your own. Everyone has their own experience, and it's so cool that a huge amount of people can have that.
That's one of the many beauties of music, I guess.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, Jack. So you were in Bravado Cartel, and that's when you're in a band like that, there's a lot of camaraderie. There's a lot of you're almost like you feel safe. I felt when I play solo very rarely. But when I do, I just feel so empty. I can't look to my left and smirk at somebody, or just smile, or have a moment with anybody. I have to have the moment with myself, and I get anxiety. So you went from being in that band with all those members to just by yourself. Like how do you cope with that? Like I feel like is it comfortable for you?
So I've always done like I did acoustic solo gigs like before I joined the band, and then now gone back to try and focus on that. So I was used to it because I was doing it a lot before. Like that was more what I was used to. But you've hit the nail on the head with that analogy. You do, like when you play, you just by yourself, really, aren't you? It's
vulnerable.
Vulnerable. I suppose. I mean,
that's a good word. Yeah,
definitely exposed and vulnerable. If you're not used to it, it can be. Like Will, for example, he always says this. He's the most incredible frontman you'll ever see, in my opinion. Like he's bouncing off the walls, doing headstands. But he would,
headstands,
yeah. Oh bloody hell! But he would never. He says I could never ever like sit with an acoustic guitar and do a gig. Like maybe if he was drunk at an open mic night for a laugh, or whatever. But he said he could never sit and do that.
Get out of here! Wow.
I know.
You know, Jack, it's funny. Like for me, it's like I could easily. I'm not as good as a singer as you are.
I don't know about that.
I don't have the vocal control that you do, because sometimes I'll just go off and I'll be like, damn it, I went off, and I can't fix it because I already did it.
Yeah.
But you have a way about you where, you know, your acoustic playing is crisp. It's so crisp. It's so clean. And then your vocals just come out too. And it's like, this is going to be a really, really goofy, silly analogy. And I apologize. All they can think of, but like, it's almost angelic. Like you're on stage. It's like, there's like an angel playing guitar and singing, because everything is pure and perfect. And like, it's amazing. It's amazing that you have this craft of like being able to, you know, you go up on stage and you sing by yourself, God Only Knows by the Beach Boys on acoustic guitar. It's like unheard of.
You can tell it's special. You can tell it's a special thing right away. And that's why I took my phone. I'm like, this is like ridiculous. I did not expect him to tell. It's like phone on. I'm like, and that's why I uploaded it. I still listen to it to this day, because it's such a, you know, like something's good right away. You know what I mean?
But you're definitely inflating my ego to new levels right now, guys.
No, that's what we really love about your style. It's just like it's so unique and memorable too.
Oh, yeah. No, it means a lot. I appreciate that. Like I try and do. I think it just I love playing, like God Only Knows. Like I love playing covers. Even like you guys booked me to play that show, and I think like probably played more covers than originals. But a lot of musicians are terrified of covers. They think, it's like, I bet at your shows you probably think, they're here to see us, want to play our music, and totally. But I think when someone throws in a cover, because if you love the song as well, that really comes through, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've had many discussions about this, because I've always been the guy who just like, you know, I always said to them, like, I don't want to play covers. I want to play our music. The crowd needs a mix of both to make it a proper good show. You know, even me, like I'm a hypocrite, because I'm like, guys, I just want to play originals. Yet when I go see a band and they're playing just originals and they pull out "We Don't Need No Education," and I'm like, oh my God, it's Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Like I'm that hypocrite who's like, I didn't want to do this when I'm playing, but yet I want them to play covers for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so many people. Will for many years was exactly the same as you, and we kind of talked him around to throw in some covers in the set. But I think if you're an originals band and you play that one cover, it can be a really clever tool, like you said, because it gets the crowd going at the side, but it's kind of like what song you choose to cover is a little bit like you're kind of showing what sort of band you're about. Not that necessarily to say that you're copying them, but like, but like, for example, they did like John Fiore and Cooped Out, they do like Wipeout, and they've kind of got that surf. It's kind of showing the choice of cover we've chosen is a little bit about what we're about.
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the gigs that we had, one of our recent gigs before this whole quarantine happened, we played at a place, Fibber McGee's. It's in Beverly. And we were up on stage, and there was a lot of people there, and we were playing some funky stuff. And I was like, nobody's dancing. I feel like they're almost afraid to. So I looked over at Steve. I was like, let's pull out the cover and get people on their feet. And we did Valerie by Amy Winehouse. And the whole place just erupts when they hear a familiar tune that they like. And then everybody was dancing. And then the next song was one of our songs, and they were still dancing. And I was like, that was the answer. We play the cover to get them on their feet, and then kind of push our stuff in there.
Exactly. It's a bit of a, what I call it, kind of like a carrot and stick approach, you know, like give you a cover now, then you can, and I get the aversion to doing covers, because you want to be proud of your music and you want your music to be good enough and stuff. But the best art, like obvious Jeff Buckley, Hallelujah, obvious example, a Joe Cocker with a little help from my friends. Sometimes like a great cover, a really unique, clever cover is as good as, right? Because that song like launched Joe Cocker's career, you know, that little help from my friends cover, and he just completely flipped the song on his head.
Yeah, that might be one of the best Beatle covers I've ever heard.
Oh yeah, it's for sure. I'd probably put it up there. Yeah.
For sure. So what would you say your top 3 favorite artists of all time, if you had to choose?
Oh man, that's
I
a
know.
daunting-
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. Come on, what are you doing to me? Well, I mean, I guess I've listed 3 from her. For me, Steve Winwood definitely. Like he's what we all like when I see him playing. Like that's how cool I think I am on stage. That's what I want to be. You know, like he because he came from a really kind of like posh middle class part of England. So he was quite like, very like nice conservative family, like rich white kid kind of thing. And then he plays blues piano like Ray Charles or someone, and like, all these like old sort of blues like Mississippi session players. Like, why is this white kid from England like playing blues piano like that? And he's one of these. He's kind of like he's always kept with the times as well. Steve Winwood. He always kind of shifts with the times, puts out some new stuff, and he's just got that bluesy. So Steve Winwood, and then I think he's one of the 3. And then I think the next 2 would have to be Aretha and Jeff Buckley at a push.
Ooh, yeah. Aretha Franklin, man. I think if I had to say, she's, in my opinion, she's one of the greatest. No, I'm not even going to say female vocals. She's just one of the greatest vocals I've ever heard in my entire life.
She'd be in my top 5 just singers. Yeah.
She's so flawless too. The way she just starts any song. It's just like she does that Sam Cooke song that I love. Darling, you.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it's just like I can hear that any day of the week. Like,
she's so
beautiful.
good. Yeah, she's definitely one of the best singers of all. In fact, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's a video of her singing maybe like 10 years ago, so before she died, obviously, and it brings a tear to my eye without fail every time. So she's singing at I think it's Obama's like inauguration kind of ceremony or party at the White House, and it's a massive moment because like for you guys, I guess you're like a black president, and like when Aretha Franklin and all the Motown singers, she wasn't a Motown artist, but when they started, people used to throw rocks at the tour bus still because it was still a lot of race. And now you've got like Aretha Franklin singing for a black president I mean, besides all that, it's this really big gig. Like, she's singing in front of like all these world leaders and all these celebrities and stuff. And she's got Barack and Michelle in the front, and she just walks on like, yeah, I'm going to own this. She's so confident.
Yeah.
So
I never thought of that. Like all the segregation in the 60s and like everything Black people have been through. And like, I didn't realize how important that moment must have been for a lot of people. Like Obama's the president, Aretha Franklin's going to go sing for him. That's really special.
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
And you can see like, there's a random group of people on this. If it's I never loved a man the way that I love you. If you just type it into YouTube, it's one of the first things comes up. And like, there's all sorts of like Melissa Etheridge is there, and like Ariana Grande, and all these like female singers, and they're like in floods of tears. Barack's like headbanging along. She's like works the crowd up. Most people would be like shit scared to perform in front of like a room full of royalty in the White House. She's like, nah, I'm going to take this. I've got this.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh, and she's the one to do it. Her voice commands anything. Such power and soul. I mean, that's just incredible. Now, Stevie Winwood, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. Was he in Traffic?
He was. So Traffic was his band, and they're one of my all-time favorite bands. Like, I love.
So Traffic. Give Me Some Lovin'. That's him singing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Now, I remember reading this, and maybe my dad told me, I forget, wasn't he like 16, 17 or something like that when he sang that? Was that true?
Yeah, so he got discovered, I think, mostly by Clapton, because correct me if I'm wrong, they either played in, I'm also bad with the facts, so either Blind Faith or the Spencer Davis group. And yeah, he was 16 and he was playing organ and playing guitar with like Clapton. To be that good and get picked up by freaking Eric Clapton, you know what I mean? Like,
he sounds like he has a 35-year-old man's voice in that song.
Yeah,
give me some loving, and he's 16. It's like, what?
Wow. I know, it's absolutely, it's bonkers. It's so good. It's absolutely bonkers, yeah. For sure.
So, okay. So if you could open for any artist, living or dead, who would it be?
Oh, man.
One special show. It's so-and-so featuring Jack Manning. It's a special show.
Well, if the Cosmic Vultures aren't busy, then
that can happen any day of the week, man.
True. Well, I've already ticked that off my bucket list, so I can.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that is a hard one. I've never even.
By the way, I will say I apologize for that show. We thought we were going to get a much bigger turnout, being Halloween in Salem. It was cold and there was nobody outside.
We had a crazy storm the night before, didn't you? Like, didn't a bunch of the power go out in some parts of Boston?
I think so. Yeah, power outage in Salem. There was a lot of factors, but
dude,
next time we'll have more people there. Promise.
Oh, it's not. Do you know what, dude? Honestly, like you'll know it from playing a band. Same with Bravado. Sometimes they play to 200 people. Sometimes they play to 5 people. And if it's a really good gig, it doesn't. And that was like a really special, heartwarming evening. Like all of it, because we all know each other now and we've hung out a bunch. It was just a nice evening. So
Yeah.
I had a great night. Please, thanks for making me a part of it, dude. That was a great show.
We're happy to have you, man. That was an amazing night.
Yeah.
And it's funny too, because like literally the next day.
Oh my God, yeah.
I was gonna ask you about how you like the process of like making your album, because I know like we have a cool story, and then like I know you told me that you did some work at a college near you for the people. So tell us the story.
That was a funny one actually. So it was kind of I have the songs written, and I guess if you listen to the album, it's that ultimate singer-songwriter cliche of it's like a breakup album, whatever. Yeah. And
oh, good.
My buddy, like he was kind of so at our college. Like I know are you studying music at college, John, or?
No.
You've told me what you're studying. I've completely forgotten. Sorry.
I'm doing psychology, but everything's online now, so it's like.
Oh right.
Computer. Okay, I'm recording.
Sweet. Okay, so any act I could open for, that is so freaking tough. Oh, that's not even one that like I've thought about myself, you know, like people at top 5 recording artists, whatever you think. Oh, that's a tough one. Living or dead as well. Oh, do you know, I think just because they're such a sick live band, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Ooh, nice.
Dude, I almost saw them before he died.
Oh, really?
I didn't get tickets, and I didn't go to the show, and then he died, and I was so.
Oh no, kicking yourself.
Man, that's rough. That is rough. It's like.
It's like the one regret in my life that I wish I could go back and. Like,
oh, totally.
You know what I mean?
We've all got ones like that, yeah. Like, but very nice. I only really I was really late to the party. I only discovered all of them. I knew all the hits like Went Back Down and stuff.
Yeah.
I never really got into them until actually right after he died. And I think I liked him a little bit because other than Bravado Cartel, they're one of the only like rock bands that have got a keyboard player in, like they're a 5-piece.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, I see you, dude. There's another band.
Yeah.
We're not the only ones out here.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just.
But keyboard players, they get kind of a bad rap. Not a bad rap, but like you don't like, you know, people talk about who's your favorite guitarist, who's your favorite bassist, who's your favorite drummer, who's your favorite vocalist. But keyboard players, like, okay, now you have to know your shit. Like you have to know music to know who the keyboard players are.
You have to know, yeah. There's not that many.
Right. For me, it's always been Keith Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Oh, that's a solid shout. That
he's like an alien, or was an alien. Crazy stuff. Very, very early prog, early 70s stuff. Unbelievable.
Yeah. But, he's definitely. A lot of people would probably choose him. He's a impressive keyboard player. I guess maybe one of mine would probably be Ben Montench out of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, just because he's like a. But yeah, you're right. There's probably loads of good keyboard session players in bands who like I don't know the name of.
Yep. I bet you a lot of people don't even know that Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers even had a keyboard player because people just listen to the hits in the radio and they don't put that together. Like, oh, there's keyboard.
Yeah, true. Or like it's a session guy who's come in later and done the.
Right.
One band who, again, one of my favorite bands, but I don't know who the piano player keyboard is, but the Black Crowes, they have some real funky kind of like honky tonk southern piano playing in some of their songs. Like Black Crowes are filthy. They're great.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Welcome back, Steve.
Sorry about that, guys. Apparently, my computer decided to shut it off, so I'm on my phone. I don't have a fancy background anymore; just my head now.
That's all right.
Should I get rid of my background so you don't feel as bad?
No,
your beard's a lot more obvious with on your phone now.
Yeah,
blended into the background with the last one.
There we go.
All right. So what did I miss? I feel like I missed a lot here.
We're just talking about Jack had mentioned he picked Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers to open for if he had to pick. And John had also mentioned that he almost saw Tom Petty before he passed. Didn't get a chance to, but that's always the way, right? You know, I mean, I think a life lesson in general is just like you never know how much time you have. Just go for it. Spend time with people. Have those moments because you don't know when it's gone. You know.
I had a moment like that when Black Sabbath was playing at the Xfinity Center and like the tickets were like $80.
Yeah.
And, there was like a deal and I hit up my friend Rob. I was like, dude, you want to go to Black Sabbath tonight? I'll buy tickets tonight. And we went and we fucking saw the show and it was great. It was amazing.
Was it Ozzy or
what?
Was it Ozzy?
No, it was Black Sabbath. Yeah,
No, I know, but was it Ozzy or the other guy?
it was Ozzy.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, dude. So I have a similar
Classic
story. If you'll indulge me, I have a similar story, which is kind of really similar to that. So my, if you can believe it, most people don't. But my job before when I back home, my normal job, I'm a high school teacher. So I teach English and music at. Yeah, now I'm just doing music full time, or I was before lockdown. But I had my job interview for my first teaching job, and you do like your teacher training course at college, and then getting your first job is kind of quite hard because you're less experienced. So it's very rare to it's really hard to land that first job. Anyway, I got a job interview at a really good kind of higher rated school in our area, like nice school, nice kids, Oh, I said, if I get this job, it'd be awesome. And one of my buddies, her husband is a sound engineer, and we have something called Download Festival in the UK. And it's like our big rock festival. So that year they had Guns N' Roses were headlining the Saturday, Ozzy Osbourne, Marilyn Manson, Avenged Sevenfold were headlining the Friday. And he was sound engineer for one of the bands. And she rings me up and goes, okay, so Jack, I've got one of the crew has dropped out. So there's a free hotel room for the night in my hotel where Avenged Sevenfold are staying and where the band's staying. And I'll drive you down and I'll drive you back the next day. You've got a free access all areas tickets. You can hang out backstage of the bands and stuff. And I'm like,
what?
I know. And I was like, Lorna, I've got this job interview in the morning. Like, that sounds too good, but I mean, I can't pass up this interview. And she's like, life's short. I'm going to be at your apartment in 20 minutes. And she didn't let me, she wouldn't take no for an answer. Like, I'm outside your house, get in. And we drove 2-3 hours. And then I was staying in this hotel and I set an alarm on my phone early. And I rang up the school and I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna. I had to do that whole thing.
Oh God.
I know. And they were like, "Oh, that's fine." And fucking spent the day backstage and met one of Avenged Sevenfold, met Johnny Christ, the bass player, drinking for free and stuff. And it was one of those moments where I ended up rescheduled the interview and I got the job. But it was one of those moments where I'm so glad that she convinced me to go with her. You know.
So it was totally worth it. It was totally worth her deciding for you.
Yeah, she's totally. I was like, look, I really, because that was so hard to turn down. I was like, I've got this job interview. And she's like, no, I'm at your house. I'm picking you up. We're going.
That's sweet.
That's awesome, man.
Amazing.
Great story.
That's possible.
Yeah, those moments, they come and go, but you got to collect moments through your life.
Oh yeah,
hold on to them tight.
Absolutely. I believe it sounds kind of like hippie-ish and whatever, but as I get older, I kind of like what you just said more or less there. I think those funny stories, those anecdotes, they're like the currency of life. Because when you're on your retirement home and you're old, we're like, oh, that time we did this, that time we did that. That's all that you're going to take with you. So.
Yeah, for sure. When you're sitting there, I'm sorry, John, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm never going to forget the time that the last 2 hours that you had in the States.
I know.
In my house. And I was like, dude, come over. I'll come pick you up. And then I picked you up at a random ass Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh yeah.
Go to my house, set up my equipment as quickly as I can. You did the songs, and I just dropped you off at the train station, and then.
Literally just. I know, made it just in time. Yeah. Yeah,
those last 2 hours. It was really. I don't know. I'm never gonna forget that because I always thought that was really cool. Some guy from the UK came to my house and recorded with me, and I felt so special. Just
no, man.
There.
That was such a great story. Yeah, I loved that. That was so cool. Literally, I was looking at the clock oh shit, my flight's in a few hours. You've got time for one more song. That's fine.
Yeah. It's fun to do.
That was so random but brilliant. We played the show the night before, and you're like, where you staying? And I think it was more or less where you live.
Yeah.
Staying up the street from you.
Hey, one of the songs on the album, Jack, did you record one of those at John's house?
So the first track, which is Slowed Down, I wasn't going to be on the album initially, but when John sent me the mix, that just sounds so good. As you guys know, he's a gifted producer. You do the stuff for the band, don't you, John?
I do. Steve and Akiba do a lot as well. They help out a lot, but we do a lot of the recording and practicing at my place.
Okay, yeah.
The three of them are all cool, savvy recording guys, but I'm the heart of the band. So
you're the heart and soul, yeah. They're the suits with the desk and the console.
Yeah. But no, Jack, you hit on something earlier, and I know this is actually going to sound kind of depressing, but about memories and things like that, and moments in people's lives. It comes to the point in your life where you're sitting there in a nursing home at 85, 90 years old, and all you have are your memories. That's your life now. And then life snatches it away from you because then some people get Alzheimer's, you forget everything. So then you're stuck with just confusion. I didn't mean to go down this rabbit hole.
No,
of
no,
depression, but
no,
it's just an interesting thought that like memories are that important.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
that's
course. And
I think the best parts of my life ever is like when I'm just sitting around and like a weird memory I haven't thought about in years comes back to me, and it just makes me feel tingly. And I'm like, oh man, I wish I was there again. And then it goes away. The thought was gone. It's like amazing.
I've never really thought about it like that, but you're right, for sure. Like people, it just feel like for poor people who suffer from Alzheimer's, it makes you realize the value of those memories. Like they really are like, but yeah, I love, and sometimes it's like a crazy anecdote about like going on tour in the States, like meeting you guys, or sometimes it can be something a little bit, like kind of small, something in passing. Hey, do you guys want to meet my dog?
Sure. Oh,
yes.
Daisy, say hi to the camera, baby.
Daisy.
So cute. Hi, Daisy.
Say hello to my homies in Boston. She's wicked cute.
Does your dog bark in a accent? Like, does he have?
Does she bark in an accent? I don't know.
Yeah,
you can tell it's an English dog because it barks in an English accent.
Yeah, I say. I've never ever thought that's definitely one of those crazy like late night stoner thoughts. Like, do animals have accents? Like,
yeah, if my dog could talk, would it talk? With a British accent or?
I like to think all the dogs in Boston like, hey.
Yeah, right. Boston Terriers.
Yeah,
Boston Terriers are like, hey, what the fuck are you doing?
Hey, good guy.
I'm trying to pack my fucking car and take a piss on it.
Yeah. My owner don't take me for a walk in the park.
Dogs from England, they just like it's more proper when they bark. They're like, Rolf.
It's almost sarcastic. Rolf.
Like a bit camp as well. Like,
question. Dogs in the question form.
Oh God.
So Jack, I have one more question for you that you're gonna hate me for, and I apologize.
Oh, is it another one? Like, who would you choose if you had to save? Like,
yeah, and it's tough. I've asked everybody
your questions, you Derek.
But this doesn't have to be with music. It could be just anything in history. You could have dinner with 3 people, living or dead, in the history of anything. What 3 people come to mind? I know you'll probably change your mind the next day, like everybody else. Always depends on what mood you're in. But at this moment, if you could pick 3 people, who do you think would make a really cool dinner with you?
Oh, I guess when you think about that, you've got to think about like making sure the 3 people would like have a laugh and get on and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is maybe kind of a poor answer because I read his autobiography, so I like know all the stories. But Keith Richards has got some fucking stories.
Yeah. Automatically a great dinner. Very entertaining already.
I guess
hopefully he brings some of his father's ashes. You could both some.
Rack up lines of his father's ashes. Oh, that's not even the story. His book, Life, buy it, man. It's so funny. It's like, it's not even, I was talking about it with my buddy last night. It's not even like there's a message or a moral like this. I saw the world and I did. It's just it's like an old drunk guy in a bar telling stories from when he was younger. Oh, one time me and Miffed him. Oh, and then one time we did. That's just how a book reads. It's brilliant.
That's cool.
Yeah. What's the name of that biography?
So it's called Life, and I cannot recommend it higher. Get it ordered.
Life.
Get it
by
on
Keith Richards.
Yeah. Make awesome. A note. Honestly, it's so funny. Like I'm reading it like sat on the bus, or whatever, just laughing out loud. Cause it's like listening to an old drunk guy telling crazy stories. Like, it's definitely Keith. I should probably think there's 2 parts. One part of me wants to pick someone like really important in history, who's like, like someone like Abraham Lincoln or something. But the other part of me just wants to get all the rock legends together for like dinner and drinks, So I think I'd have to go down to self. I think Bob Dylan would be an interesting guy to talk to.
Bob Dylan is my hero.
Oh yeah.
And I want to just really quickly, and this will be my last rant of the day. I promise.
Rant away.
This is really crazy. I was watching. Joe Rogan had Edward Norton, the actor, on.
Okay.
And Edward Norton was talking about how Marlon Brando was like a very, very odd kind of guy, and every actor looked up to him because he was like the best there was around. And he had a very interesting life outside of acting. He wasn't that type of person where like, I'm rich, I'm famous now, so come and love me. He was kind of like, he kind of backed away from that. He was a normal guy. He was like he was a regular guy and stuff. And Norton was like, there's only one other person in history who's ever shied away from fame, and it was Bob Dylan. Because in 1964-ish, he was brought on stage by Joan Baez at a folk festival, and she was like, you are now the Prince of Folk. we bow down to you, Bob Dylan. You're the guy.
Yeah.
And Bob Dylan played his performance, and everybody went friggin' crazy. And as we all know, he had people literally worship him for a long time. About a year later, after being this folk god, he plugs in an electric guitar.
Oh,
and
Newport,
everybody
yeah.
at the festival is like, "What the fuck are you doing, Bob? Like, you're betraying us.
Yeah,
you're a folk god." People had axes.
Yeah,
they were
so
going to
Pete
cut his
Seeger
cables.
tried to cut, as a folk
They
musician.
were going to cut his cables. They were like, "What are you doing?" And Bob Dylan turned around to Robbie Robertson of the band, and he was like, "Just play louder, man." And they played like a Rolling Stone, and the crowd was like, "What the fuck is happening to our lives?" But Bob Dylan just went electric. And Edward Norton made a point. He was like, as soon as people started to get like, they really started to understand Bob Dylan's work on electric, he's like, "No, I'm doing this now." And he would never give people what they wanted for too long. He would just keep moving. And in 1970, he released an album called Self-Portrait. It's fucking terrible. It's just a bunch of covers that nobody wants to hear. And he did it on purpose to tell everybody to fuck off.
Yeah.
And people were like sleeping on his lawn, knocking on his door. And he was like, "Leave me alone. I'm releasing this album so that people will forget me for a while." And he's the only artist in history where people get a taste of fame. If any of us got a taste of fame, we would be like, "All right, like, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's see what this is all about," you know? But Bob was like, "Listen, I write for me, and I write words that matter to me. Leave me alone. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, just leave me alone." No one has ever done that in the history of music. Who've been like, "I'm putting out a bad album just so you'll leave me alone."
That's amazing. That's so funny.
You know,
he literally did it for that reason.
Tangent, but
no, not at all. That's really, I never knew that. I knew that Self-Portrait was a really bad album. I never knew he literally thought, right, if I release some garbage, people will just forget about me for a while. That's mad. Like, some people don't genuinely like. I mean, either of us four, I guess, would like give him the opportunity to like sign a rich and famous contract and go on tour and be like touring rock stars. Any of us would like do it. Would like sell our right arm to be able to do it. But then like,
at least to have a taste of it, to see what it's like. I mean, it's probably not for any of us. We probably, for me, like, I don't know if I can go tour the country. I don't know if I could do that. I don't
dude, like a year and a half, these tours last sometimes, you know, a year, even your buddies, like being on a cramped tour bus, a year and a half, no sleep. Like, it is definitely not, it swings and roundabouts, but it's hard work. I mean, we all would love to, we think, "Oh, I'd love to be like fucking Motley Crue touring, getting into all sorts of like hijinks," but it's knackering, and people do lose their minds. I'm like,
when it's all over, these guys in Motley Crue are like, "We need to find some sort of like inner peace now with ourselves, because we've lost regular life. It's all just goddom to people. It's goddom, it's stardom. It's like, I need to just sit in my house and watch TV for an hour and eat some Chef Boyardee."
Yeah, for sure. Well, like Ed, to go on off a bit of a tangent, sorry, but Ed Sheeran, actually, so he obviously massive worldwide star. He, after his second album, he was touring the world to promote it, and he was like, "Oh, I'm not sleeping, I'm not eating well because I'm eating kind of like junk food on the road. I'm like gaining weight, I'm not drinking a lot, like." And he just said, right, he actually, after the second album, he's like, "Right, I'm done now." Like, that guy's got more money than he could ever hope to spend. He's like number 27 on the Forbes list. So he was like, "I'm just going to chill." Like, and he went traveling around the world with his girlfriend. And then he got bored and released a third album, but it broke all sorts of like every record. It broke the record of number ones off of the same album. And so that's meant some people literally do. I mean, it's different because not everyone's Ed Sheeran and has enough money that they're like number 27 on the Forbes list so they can just chill for the rest of their life. But he was literally like, "I have enough money to chill for the rest of my life. Like, I've done fame, I've tried it." And then I guess he got bored of staying at home, and then is now obviously now he's still doing stuff. But
oh yeah,
I wonder if that, like, you know, once you reach that point and you have all this money, I wonder if like a lot of people then move to different things. Like, I got the satisfaction. I climbed the top of the ladder. Now what do? Guess I'll go do some drugs, and then fuck my life up. But like, or like, I feel like, and this is gonna sound crazy, but I feel like if I never reach a certain point, I'm almost happy to keep chasing it the rest of my life, just so I know that feeling of like, I'm almost there. And then if I never get it, at least I never got bored with finally getting there and not knowing what to do with my life.
That's a really good point. It still like being signed up to a record label and touring the world and that still has some magic to, like, because as far as like any of you, like, because it's still a dream we're all chasing. But at least it would be sad to say, "Oh, I had it and then I got bored of it." Like, at least it still retains that magic if it's kind of a fantasy, I guess.
Or like you had it and you lost it. But I there's like a lot of examples out there to show that, like, you know, people got the fame and they didn't end up liking it, you know. So
For sure. Yeah.
there's a lot of good, like, I guess, examples of people doing that. So it's like, maybe it might not be for some people, and maybe it is. So.
It genuinely isn't. Like, if you're a kind of a shy person or an introvert, like being going on tour must be hell. You know what I mean? Like,
Plus,
basic levels of privacy too. Like fame can be pretty toxic. You know, it can get old after like a day. You know, people like you don't have any privacy. You can't just go to the store. And some people can handle it. Some people can't.
Yeah, right. If you get that famous, there's no regular life for you after that. But if you're a one-hit wonder, if you're like that band Sixpence None the Richer,
for example.
So kiss me, like. That girl, just for instance, they had that one hit and now she's faded away from history. She's probably like, well, now I clean houses and I'm super happy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Sometimes people, they have the, she's probably better off in a way, whoever that woman is, like, she gets to go back to.
Yeah.
Tried it for a bit. It never got too crazy. And then, does some other job now for a living. Like, I think another thing.
And now it's gone.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the best situation. I think another thing that a lot of people talk about is when you are that level of fame, like when you've got all the money, if you're like you're Ed Sheeran, you kind of put up these walls and it's hard to, you get a lot of people who are your friends or like maybe want you to invest in their business or whatever, or they're hanging around you, but they're not really a friend, you know, they're just hanging around for the parties and the money. And then probably that makes you quite a superstitious person, and you're like, you know.
Right. I'm like nervous, like what if, like, you know, someone or like myself achieved that level, and then like all these people start coming out of the woodwork, like, hey man, remember we did this?
Yeah, we went to high school together, bro.
Yeah, you were a fucking asshole. You just want my money. Go fuck yourself. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what you just explained, John, is literally like the Kurt Cobain story of like, I am a grunge kid from Seattle who became the biggest fucking artist on the planet.
Yeah.
And couldn't handle it. He just couldn't handle it, and it destroyed him. You know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It destroyed a lot of people.
But it's definitely a lot to be said about the fame thing, and it's not all it's cracked up to be, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
it's that kind of grass is always greener on the other side. Thing. You know, we always, like, for most people, we look at the fame like, oh, that must be so cool. But like Jack, like you said, you know, you're on the tour bus, it's cramped, it's
no privacy,
zero privacy.
I miss my dog, I miss my home. Like, that probably happens really quickly. I mean, even for me, like, I get burnt out sometimes after one show. I'm like, oh, thank God there's not one for another 2 weeks. To do one every night is like, exactly. I would probably die in the first week.
Well, with second time we did our little we came to Boston and did some shows in Boston. We played every day for 7 nights. So we did 7 in a row, and we did a couple of radio shows during a day. So that was like 9 shows in 7 days, which isn't, like I say, that's nothing compared to a year and a half. But on the plane back, Will was like, I don't want to see another guitar or an amp or a jack lead for like at least a week.
You guys probably got super crazy. Tight though, I'm assuming.
We did. I mean, sometimes we were at each other's throats and stuff. Like, Will would kill me for saying this on my podcast, but we played a show at the Bitter End with Queen and the Savage Kings, Jackie and Jeff's band. Great
NYC,
Boston band. Yep. Brilliant, awesome, historic venue. And we were on, because I didn't realize this in big cities, like the shows run quite late. So we were on at like maybe, I think we were on at midnight, and Queen and the Savage Kings were on at 1 a.m. And Shane was like, and Will said, right guys, he's more talking to Shane. He's like, don't get too drunk. Jackie and Jeff have worked really hard to get us this gig. I know it's a long time to wait. Have a couple of beers, but don't fucking get too drunk. And then if you saying to Shane, don't do something, that's like waving a red flag to a bull. And so basically he turns around to me and he goes, all right, Jack, we're going to play a prank on Will. So he asks for the waitress behind the bar. He says, oh, can you please pour us 6 shot glasses, but just pour like water into them, just tap water. And so he says, we're going to pretend to do 3 shots, and you've got to like pull the face every time you do the shot. Oh God. And so me and Witten, like, well, I mean, we just pretend to do these 3 shots. And like I did the acting, I was proper acting, like, oh, this is horrible. And then Will just erupted, like, I'm sick of you two treating it like a bachelor party. We're on It was so, he had to take himself for a walk for 10 minutes and come back.
Wow.
This is not a bachelor party.
Did you like tell him right away after you did it when he got mad that you were joking, or?
Yeah, we told it when we got back. We're like, yeah, that was water. We were fucking idiots. But he fully erupted. It was so funny. He'll kill me for telling that story.
There's always one member of the band who takes everything way too seriously, and that's me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know who it would be. It's normally, to be fair, and again, he killed me for saying this. It's probably normally Johnny with Bravado Cartel.
No.
Yes, certain jokes he winds him up the wrong way, but then mind you, same with Will. There's a couple of topics we make fun of the fact he's got a receding hairline and he's going bald, just because we know that really like grinds his gears. That really gets under.
Wow. No, the last show we played at Opus, I remember the show. We just as me, Akiva, Steve, and I don't remember if you had some, Derek, but we all just drank some tequila, and we all got.
Oh, I think I did
really
have a shot with you guys.
No, it was the last show we played. You remember that, Steve?
Oh, you guys played. Sorry.
Was it tequila?
Yeah. Well, I had tequila. I had a couple of things of tequila, and so did Akiva. And I know you were drinking, but I don't remember what you were drinking. But by the time we got on stage, we were like, yeah, good.
But Jack, I apologize because you said Bob Dylan, and that was 15 minutes ago. So I'm sorry. Who's your third?
Oh, I'm sorry.
About that.
I can imagine you ringing me up the next day. I'm really impressed that you remembered that. I'd actually completely. The other tangents I was keeping in the back of my head. That I'd actually forgotten about. I do have an answer. So he's not a musician per se, but he is. He plays with the Hollywood Vampires. Johnny Depp would be my third.
Johnny Depp, awesome.
Because again, we're talking about stories. He's got to have the stories, man.
Yeah. Did you just hear him and Jeff Beck? They just covered "Isolation" by John Lennon.
No, I have to watch that.
That blew me away. It was so powerful. Oh, especially now with the quarantine. Man. Johnny Depp sings it. Jeff Beck kills it on the guitar. It's just such a good mix.
Oh, so when at my Hollywood Vampires, the band, if you've heard of those guys, they're kind of a super group with Alice Cooper, Johnny Depp. I think it's the drummer for Joe Perry from Aerosmith.
Joe Perry, yeah.
I think it's Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses on bass. I might be wrong. But I remember someone told me about it. It was oh, that sounds super gimmicky, like Alice Cooper, Johnny Depp. That sounds like just a kind of just something they're doing for fun or maybe to rake in a few dollars. And I watched a live concert. I'm like, fuck, these guys are actually really good.
Yeah.
It's just proper cheesy hair metal rock and roll, you know.
Nice. Yeah.
Johnny's a really good guitarist, to be fair.
Yeah, he is. I'm so impressed with how good he is. I posted the song "Isolation" and all of my relatives were I didn't know Johnny Depp could sing, and I'm like, have you not seen him in two different Stephen Sondheim musical movies where he sings Sweeney Todd and Into the Woods? I'm he's been in movies where he sings Broadway, and then he's in the Hollywood Vampires. So he's such a talented guy.
He's a cool guy. He's definitely he's an actor. But he's a rock star that's an actor, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But hey, yeah, John, go ahead.
If you didn't have music, what would be your other art form? If you weren't doing music, would it be acting or writing or?
If I had to choose, so I played a show at a record store a record shop back in England, and they said, okay, you've got half an hour, so 6 songs, and it turned out I actually only played 3 songs because I was talking in between and telling jokes in between songs that much.
Wow.
And I was it was kind of half music, half stand up. So I think if I couldn't, and I love putting on dumb accents and telling shit dad jokes. So yeah, definitely, I'd have a crack at stand-up comedy for sure.
I could see you doing that. I could see you being successful in that.
All right, I'd like to hear some of your comedy someday.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh man, just come watch me at a show.
Amazing. Hey Jack, I don't want to keep you all day. I apologize. This one
went
long. I feel bad, but thank you so much for being on here with us. We love talking to you. We love your music. We love your personality. Everything about you. We wish you were over here hanging out with us all the time.
Dude,
we have to come over there and hang with you at some point.
Anytime, dude. Anytime you come here, we'll show you the hospitality you guys showed us. We'll take you on a crazy night out. We'll have a good time. And thank you so much for having me on there.
And for everybody watching right now, please check out The Length of This Room by Jack Manning. It's an EP on Spotify and I'm sure more streaming services. Please check it out. It's great. Check out Jack. He's the man and you will really enjoy it.
Check it out.
Check it out. Yeah, man. Jack, thank you so much, man. Let's do this again.
Sure,
we'll do a lot more of these. So if anytime you want to come back on, anything else you want to promote, open invite, or if you just want to shoot the shit, talk records or whatever, we'll set up an episode. We'll do it again.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me. It's been really nice seeing you guys again. Put a proper
you too, man.
You too, brother.
Thank you so much, dude.
Stay safe, all right?
You guys too. Stay safe. Keep your heads above water. Crazy shit.
You too, buddy. All right, man. All right. Thanks so much, man.
No worries. One love.
Peace.
Peace.
See you, man.
computer. Okay, I'm recording.
Sweet. Okay, so any act I could open for, that is so freaking tough. Oh, that's not even one that like I've thought about myself, you know, like people at top 5 recording artists, whatever you think. Oh, that's a tough one. Living or dead as well. Oh, do you know, I think just because they're such a sick live band, Tom Petty and my Heartbreakers.
Ooh, nice.
Dude, I almost saw them before he died. And, like,
really?
I didn't get tickets, and I didn't go to the show, and then he died, and I was so.
Oh no, kicking yourself.
Man, that's rough. That is rough. That's like.
It's like the one regret in my life that I wish I could go back and.
Like, totally.
You know what I mean? And,
we've all got ones like that, yeah. Like, but very nice. I only really I was really late to the party. I only discovered all of them. I knew all the hits like Went Back Down and stuff.
Yeah.
I never really got into them until actually right after he died. And I think I liked him a little bit because other than Bravado Cartel, they're one of the only like rock bands that have got a keyboard player in, like they're a 5-piece.
Yeah. Right.
And I was like, I see you, dude. There's another band.
Yeah.
We're not the only ones out here.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just.
But keyboard players, they get kind of a bad rap. Not a bad rap, but like you don't like, you know, people talk about who's your favorite guitarist, who's your favorite bassist, who's your favorite drummer, who's your favorite vocalist. But keyboard players, like, okay, now you have to know your shit. Like you have to know music to know who the keyboard players are.
You have to know, yeah. There's not that many.
Right. For me, it's always been Keith Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Oh, that's a solid shout. That
he's like an alien, or was an alien. Crazy stuff. Very, very early prog, early 70s stuff. Unbelievable.
Yeah. But, he's definitely, a lot of people would probably choose him. He's a impressive keyboard player. I guess, maybe one of mine would probably be Ben Montench out of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, just because he's like but yeah, you're right. There's probably loads of good keyboard session players in bands who like, I don't know the name of.
Yep. I bet you a lot of people don't even know that Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers even had a keyboard player because people just listen to the hits on the radio and they don't put that together. Like, oh, there's keyboard.
Yeah, true. Or like it's a session guy who's come in later and done the.
Right.
One band who, again, one of my favorite bands, but I don't know who the piano player keyboard is, but the Black Crowes, they have some real funky kind of like honky tonk southern piano playing in some of their songs. Like Black Crowes are filthy. They're great.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Welcome back, Steve.
Sorry about that, guys. Apparently, my computer decided to shut it off, so I'm on my phone. I don't have a fancy background anymore, just my head now.
That's all right.
Should I get rid of my background so you don't feel as bad?
No,
your beard's a lot more obvious with on your phone now.
Yeah.
Blended into the background with the last one.
There we go.
All right. So what did I miss? I feel like I missed a lot here.
We're just talking about Jack had mentioned he picked Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers to open for if he had to pick. And John had also mentioned that he almost saw Tom Petty before he passed. Didn't get a chance to, but that's always the way, right? You know, I mean, I think a life lesson in general is just like you never know how much time you have. Just go for it. Spend time with people. Have those moments because you don't know when it's gone. You know.
I had a moment like that when Black Sabbath was playing at the Xfinity Center and like the tickets were like $80.
Yeah.
And, there was like a deal and I hit up my friend Rob. I was like, dude, you want to go to Black Sabbath tonight? I'll buy tickets tonight. And we went and we fucking saw the show and it was great. It was amazing.
Was it Ozzy or
what?
Was it Ozzy?
No, it was Black Sabbath. Yeah.
No, I know, but was it Ozzy or the other guy?
It was Ozzy.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, dude, so I have a similar story. If you'll indulge me, I have a similar story, which is kind of really similar to that. So if you can believe it, most people don't, but my job back home, my normal job, I'm a high school teacher. So I teach English and music now I'm just doing music full time, or I was before lockdown. But I had my job interview for my first teaching job, and you do like your teacher training course at college, and then getting your first job is kind of quite hard because you're less experienced. So it's very rare to it's really hard to land that first job. Anyway, I got a job interview at a really good kind of higher rated school in our area, like nice school, nice kids, you know. If I get this job, it'd be awesome. And one of my buddies, her husband is a sound sound engineer, and we have something called Download Festival in the UK, and it's like our big rock festival. So like that year they had Guns N' Roses were headlining the Saturday, Ozzy Osbourne, Marilyn Manson, Avenged Sevenfold were headlining the Friday, and he was sound engineer for one of the bands. And she rings me up and goes, "Okay, so Jack, I've got one of the crew has dropped out, so there's a free hotel room for the night in my hotel where Avenged Sevenfold are staying and where the band's staying. And I'll drive you down and I'll drive you back the next day. You've got free access all areas tickets. You can hang out backstage of the bands and stuff." And I'm like,
What?
I know. And I was like, "Lorna, I've got this job interview in the morning. Like, that sounds too good, but I mean, I can't pass up this interview." And she's like, "Life's short. I'm going to be at your apartment in 20 minutes. And she didn't let me, she wouldn't take no for an answer. Like, "I'm outside your house, get in." And we drove 2-3 hours. I mean, I was staying in this hotel, and I set an alarm on my phone early, and I rang up the school, and I was like, "I'm so sorry. I'm gonna." I had to do that whole thing.
Oh God.
I know. And they were like, "Oh, that's fine," and fucking spent the day backstage. Met one of Avenged Sevenfold. Met Johnny Christ, the bass player. Drinking for free and stuff. And it was one of those moments where I ended up rescheduled the interview and I got the job. But it was one of those moments where I'm so glad that she convinced me to go with her. You know?
So it was totally worth it. It was totally worth her deciding for you.
Yeah, she's totally. I was like, "Look, I really," because that was so hard to turn down. I was like, "I've got this job interview." And she's like, "No, I'm at your house. I'm picking you up. We're going."
That's sweet.
That's awesome,
That's
man.
amazing.
Great story.
That's not possible.
Yeah, those moments, they come and go, but you get to collect moments through your life.
Oh yeah,
hold on to them tight.
Absolutely. I believe it sounds kind of hippie-ish and whatever, but as I get older, I kind of like what you just said more or less there. I think those funny stories, those anecdotes, they're like the currency of life. Because when you're on your retirement home and you're old, we're like, "Oh, that time we did this, that time we did that." That's all that you're going to take with you. So.
Yeah, for sure. When you're sitting there, I'm sorry, John, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm never gonna forget the time that the last 2 hours that you had in the States.
I know, it's
in my house, and I was like, "Dude, come over. I'll come pick you up." And then I picked you up at a random ass Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh yeah.
Drove to my house, set up my equipment as quickly as I can. You did the songs, and I just dropped you off at the train station, and then
literally just. I know, made it just in time. Yeah.
Yeah, those last 2 hours. It was really. I don't know. I'm never gonna forget that because I always thought that was really cool. Some guy from the UK came to my house and recorded with me, and I felt so special. Just
no, man.
There.
That was such a great story. Yeah, I loved that. That was so cool. Literally, I was looking at the clock "Oh shit, my flight's in a few hours." You've got time for one more song. That's fine.
Yeah. It's fun to do.
That was so random but brilliant. We played the show the night before, and you're like, "Where you staying?" And I think it was more or less where you live.
Yeah.
Staying up the street from you.
Hey, one of the songs on the album, Jack, did you record one of those at John's house?
So the first track, which is Slowed Down, I wasn't going to be on the album initially, but when John sent me the mix, that just sounds so good. As you guys know, he's a gifted producer. You do the stuff for the band, don't you, John?
I do. Steve and Akiba do a lot as well. They help out a lot, but we do a lot of the recording and practicing at my place.
Okay, yeah.
The three of them are all cool, savvy recording guys, but I'm the heart of the band. So
you're the heart and soul, yeah. They're the suits with the desk and the console.
Yeah. But no, Jack, you hit on something earlier, and I know this is actually going to sound kind of depressing, but about memories and things like that, and moments in people's lives. It comes to the point in your life where you're sitting there in a nursing home at 85, 90 years old, and all you have are your memories. That's your life now. And then life snatches it away from you because then some people get Alzheimer's, you forget everything. So then you're stuck with just confusion. I didn't mean to go down this rabbit hole.
No,
but it's just an interesting thought that memories are that important.
Yeah, of course.
I think the best parts of my life ever, when I'm just sitting around and a weird memory I haven't thought about in years comes back to me, and it just makes me feel tingly, and I'm oh man, I wish I was there again, and then it goes away. The thought is gone. It's amazing.
I've never really thought about it like that, but you're right for sure. People, it just feel for poor people who suffer from Alzheimer's, it makes you realize the value of those memories, they really are. But yeah, I love, and sometimes it's a crazy anecdote about going on tour in the States, meeting you guys, or sometimes it can be something a little bit, kind of small, something in passing. Hey, do you guys want to meet my dog?
Sure.
Yes.
Daisy, say hi to the camera, baby.
Daisy.
So cute. Hi, Daisy.
Say hello to my homies in Boston. She's wicked cute.
Does your dog
Yeah.
bark in a accent? Like, does he have?
Does
your
she
accent?
bark in an accent? I don't know.
Yeah,
You can tell it's
I
an
always
English
thought-
dog because it barks in an English accent.
Yeah, I say. I've never ever thought that's definitely one of those crazy like late night stoner thoughts. Like, the animals have accents. Like,
Yeah, if my dog could talk, would it talk, with a British
Or in
accent
Boston.
or
I like to think all the dogs in Boston, like, hey.
Yeah, right.
Boston Terriers?
Yeah,
Boston
oh,
Terriers
yeah.
are like, hey, what the fuck are you doing?
Hey, good guy.
I'm trying to pack my fucking car and take a piss on it.
Yeah. My owner don't take me for a walk in the park.
Pack.
Dogs from England, they just like it's more proper when they bark. They're like Rolf.
It's almost sarcastic. Rolf.
Like sat a bit camp as well. Like,
Question. Dogs in the question form.
Oh God.
So Jack,
yeah.
I have one more question for you that you're gonna hate me for, and I
Oh, is it
apologize.
another one? Like, who would you choose if you had to save? Like,
Yeah, and it's tough. I've asked everybody
me with your
this
questions,
question.
you, Derek.
But this doesn't have to be with music. It could be just anything in history. You could have dinner with 3 people, living or dead, in the history of anything. What 3 people come to mind? I know you'll probably change your mind the next day, like everybody else. Always depends on what mood you're in. But at this moment, if you could pick 3 people, who do you think would make a really cool dinner with you?
Oh, I guess when you think about that, you've got to think about like making sure the 3 people would like have a laugh and get on and stuff.
Yeah.
But I would. This is maybe kind of a poor answer because I read his autobiography, so I like know all the stories. But Keith Richards has got some fucking stories.
Yeah.
Automatically a great dinner. Very entertaining already.
Just having dinner.
I guess
hopefully he brings some of his father's ashes. You could both smoke some.
We could rack up lines of his father's ashes. That's not even the story. His book, Life, buy it, man. It's so funny. It's like, it's not even, I was talking about it with my buddy last night. It's not even like there's a message or a moral, like this, I saw the world and I did. It's just like, it's like an old drunk guy in a bar telling stories from when he was younger. Oh, one time me and Miffed him. Oh, and then one time we did, that's just how a book reads. It's brilliant.
That's cool.
Yeah. What's the name of that biography?
So it's called Life, and I cannot recommend it higher. Get it ordered.
Life.
Get it
By Keith Richards.
Yeah, make awesome. A note. Honestly, it's so funny. Like I'm reading it like sat on the bus, or whatever, just laughing out loud. Cause it's just like listening to an old drunk guy telling crazy stories. Like, it's definitely Keith. I should probably think. There's 2 parts. One part of me wants to pick someone like really important in history, who's like, like someone like Abraham Lincoln or something. But the other part of me just wants to get all the rock legends together for like dinner and drinks, So I think I'd have to go down to self. I think Bob Dylan would be an interesting guy to talk to.
Bob Dylan is my hero.
Oh yeah.
And I want to just really quickly, and this will be my last rant of the day. I promise.
Rant away.
This is really crazy. I was watching. Joe Rogan had Edward Norton, the actor, on.
Okay.
And Edward Norton was talking about how Marlon Brando was like a very, very odd kind of guy. And every actor looked up to him because he was like the best there was around. And he had a very interesting life outside of acting. He wasn't that type of person where like, I'm rich, I'm famous now, so come and love me. He was kind of like, he kind of backed away from that. He was a normal guy. He was like he was a regular guy and stuff. And Norton was like, there's only one other person in history who's ever shied away from fame, and it was Bob Dylan. Because in 1964-ish, he was brought on stage by Joan Baez at a folk festival, and she was like, you are now the Prince of Folk. We bow down to you, Bob Dylan. You're the guy. Yeah. And Bob Dylan played his performance, and everybody went friggin' crazy. And as we all know, he had people literally worship him for a long time. About a year later, after being this folk god, he plugs in an electric guitar. Oh, and everybody at the festival is like, what the fuck are you doing, Bob? Like, you're betraying us. You're a folk god. People had axes.
Yeah, so Pete Seeger tried to cut, as a folk musician.
They were going to cut his cables. They were like, what are you doing? And Bob Dylan turned around to Robbie Robertson of the band. And he was like, just play louder, man. And they played like a Rolling Stone, and the crowd was like, what the fuck is happening to our lives? But Bob Dylan just went electric. And Edward Norton made a point. He was like, as soon as people started to get like, they really started to understand Bob Dylan's work on electric, he's like, no, I'm doing this now. And he would never give people what they wanted for too long. He would just keep moving. And in 1970, he released an album called Self-Portrait. It's fucking terrible. It's just a bunch of covers that nobody wants to hear. And he did it on purpose to tell everybody to fuck off.
Yeah.
And people were like sleeping on his lawn, knocking on his door. And he was like, leave me alone. I'm releasing this album so that people will forget me for a while. And he's the only artist in history where people get a taste of fame. If any of us got a taste of fame, we would be like, all right, like, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's see what this is all about, you know? But Bob was like, listen, I write for me. And I write words that matter to me. Leave me alone. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, just leave me alone. No one has ever done that in the history of music. Who've been like, I'm putting out a bad album just so you'll leave me alone.
That's amazing. That's so funny.
You know,
he literally did it for that reason.
Tangent, but
no, not at all. That's really. I never knew that. I knew that Self Portrait was a really bad album. I never knew he literally thought, right, if I release some garbage, people will just forget about me for a while. That's mad. Like, some people don't genuinely like. I mean, either of us four, I guess, would like give him the opportunity to like sign a rich and famous contract and go on tour and be like touring rock stars. Any of us would like do it. Would like sell our right arm to be able to do it. But then like
at least to have a taste of it, to see what it's like. And it's probably not for any of us. We probably, for me, like, I don't know if I can go tour the country. I don't know if I can do that. I don't
dude, like a year and a half these tours last sometimes, you know, a year, even your buddies, like being on a cramped tour bus, a year and a half, no sleep. Like, it is definitely not, it swings and roundabouts, but it's hard work. I mean, we all would love to, we think, oh, I'd love to be like fucking Motley Crue touring, getting into all sorts of like hijinks, but it's knackering and people do lose their minds. And like,
when it's all over, these guys in Motley Crue are like, we need to find some sort of like inner peace now with ourselves, because we've lost regular life. It's all just goddom to people.
Yeah,
it's goddom. It's stardom. It's like, I need to just sit in my house and watch TV for an hour and eat some Chef Boyardee.
Yeah, for sure. Well, like Ed, to go on off a bit of a tangent, sorry, but Ed Sheeran actually, so he obviously massive worldwide star. He, after his second album, he was touring the world to promote it, and he was like, oh, I'm not sleeping, I'm not eating well because I'm eating kind of like junk food on the road. I'm like gaining weight. I'm not drinking a lot, like. And he just said, right, he actually, after the second album, he's like, right, I'm done now. Like, that guy's got more money than he could ever hope to spend. He's like number 27 on the Forbes list. So he was like, I'm just going to chill. Like, and he went traveling around the world with his girlfriend. And then he got bored and released a third album, but it broke all sorts of, like every record. It broke the record of number ones off of the same album. And so that's, some people literally do. I mean, it's different because not everyone's Ed Sheeran and has enough money that they're like number 27 on the Forbes list so they can just chill for the rest of their life. But he was literally like, I have enough money to chill for the rest of my life. Like, I've done fame, I've tried it. And then I guess he got bored of staying at home and then is now, obviously, now he's still doing stuff. But
oh yeah.
I wonder if that, like, you know, once you reach that point and you have all this money, I wonder if like a lot of people then move to different things. Like I got the satisfaction. I climbed the top of the ladder. Now what do I do? Guess I'll go do some drugs and then fuck my life up. But like, or like, I feel like, and this is going to sound crazy, but I feel like if I never reach a certain point, I'm almost happy to keep chasing it the rest of my life, just so I know that feeling of like, I'm almost there. And then if I never get it, at least I never got bored with finally getting there and not knowing what to do with my life.
That's a really good point. It still like being signed up to a record label and touring the world and being, that still has some magic to like, because as far as like any of you, like, because it's still a dream we're all chasing. But at least it would be sad to say, oh, I had it and then I got bored of it. Like, at least it still retains that magic if it's kind of a fantasy, I guess.
Or like you had it and you lost it. But there's like a lot of examples out there to show that, like, you know, people got the fame and they didn't end up liking it, you know? So
for sure.
There's a lot of good, like, I guess, examples of people doing that. So it's like, maybe it might not be for some people and maybe it is. So.
It genuinely isn't. Like, if you're a kind of a shy person or an introvert, like being on tour must be hell. You know what I mean? Like,
plus, basic levels of privacy too. Like, fame can be pretty toxic. You know, it can get old after like a day. You know, people like you don't have any privacy. You can't just go to the store. And some people can handle it. Some people can't.
Yeah, right. If you get that famous, there's no regular life for you after that. But if you're a one-hit wonder, if you're like that band Sixpence None the Richer,
for example.
So kiss me, like. That girl, just for instance, they had that one hit and now she's faded away from history. She's probably like, well, now I clean houses and I'm super happy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Sometimes people, they have the, she's probably better off in a way, whoever that woman is, like she gets to go back to.
Yeah.
Tried it for a bit. It never got too crazy. And then, does some other job now for a living. Like, I think another thing.
And now it's gone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the best situation. I think another thing that a lot of people talk about is when you are that level of fame, like when you've got all the money, if you're like, you're Ed Sheeran, you kind of put up these walls and it's hard to, you get a lot of people who are your friends or like maybe want you to invest in their business or whatever, or they're hanging around you, but they're not really a friend, they're just hanging around for the parties and the money. And then probably that makes you quite a superstitious person. And you're like,
Right. I'm like nervous. Like what if like, someone or like myself achieved that level and then like all these people start coming out of the woodwork like, hey man, remember we did this?
Yeah, we went to high school together, bro.
Yeah, like you were a fucking asshole. You just want my money. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
What you just explained, John, is literally like the Kurt Cobain story of like, I am a grunge kid from Seattle who became the biggest fucking artist on the planet.
Yeah.
And couldn't handle it. He just couldn't handle it, and it destroyed him.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It destroyed a lot of people.
Yeah. But it's definitely a lot to be said about the fame thing, and it's not all it's cracked up to be, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
It's that kind of grass is always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
Thing. We always like, for most people, we look at the fame like, oh, that must be so cool. But like Jack, like you said, it's you're on the tour bus, it's cramped, it's
no privacy,
zero privacy.
Yeah. I miss my dog, I miss my home. Like that probably happens really quickly. I mean, even for me, like I get burnt out sometimes after one show. I'm like, oh, thank God there's not one for another 2 weeks. To do one every night is like, exactly. I would probably die in the first week.
Well, with second time we did our little we came to Boston and did some shows in Boston. We played every day for 7 nights. So we did 7 in a row, and we did a couple of radio shows during a day. So that was like 9 shows in 7 days, which isn't, like I say, that's nothing compared to a year and a half. But on the plane back, Will was like, I don't want to see another guitar or an amp or a jack lead for like at least a week.
You guys probably got super crazy. Tight though, I'm assuming.
We did. I mean, sometimes we were at each other's throats and stuff. Like, Will would kill me for saying this on my podcast, but we played a show at the bitter end with Queen and the Savage Kings, Jackie and Jeff's band. Great
NYC,
Boston band.
Yep,
brilliant, awesome, historic venue. And we were on, because I didn't realize this in big cities, like the shows run quite late. So we were on at like maybe, I think we were on at midnight, and Queen and the Savage Kings were on at 1 a.m. And Shane was like, and Will said, right guys, he's more talking to Shane. He's like, don't get too drunk. Jackie and Jeff have worked really hard to get us this gig. I know it's a long time to wait. Have a couple of beers, but don't fucking get too drunk. And then if saying to Shane, don't do something, that's like waving a red flag to a bull. And so basically he turns around to me and he goes, all right, Jack, we're going to play a prank on Will. So he asks for the waitress behind the bar. He says, oh, can you please pour us 6 shot glasses, but just pour like water into them, just tap water. And so he says, we're going to pretend to do 3 shots, and you've got to like pull the face every time you do the shot. Oh, God. And so me and Whitten, like, Will, I mean, we just pretend to do these 3 shots. And like I did the acting, I was proper acting, like, oh, this is horrible. And then Will just erupted, like, I'm sick of you two treating it like a bachelor party. We're on It was so, he had to take himself for a walk for 10 minutes and come back.
Wow.
This is not a bachelor party.
Did you like tell him right away after you did it when he got mad that you were joking, or?
Yeah, we told him when we got back. We're like, yeah, that was water. We were fucking. But he fully erupted. It was so funny. He'll kill me for telling that story.
There's always one member of the band who takes everything way too seriously, and that's me.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know who it would be. It's normally, to be fair, and again, he killed me for saying this. It's probably normally Johnny with Bravado Cartel.
No.
Yes, certain jokes he winds him up the wrong way, but then and mind you, same with Will. There's a couple of topics we make fun of the fact he's got a receding hairline and he's going bald, just because we know that really like grinds his gears. That really gets him.
Wow. No, the last show we played at Opus, I remember the show. We just like, as me, Akiva, Steve, and I don't remember if you had some, Derek, but we all just drank some tequila, and like we all got.
Oh, I think I did really a shot with you guys.
No, it was the last show we played. You remember that, Steve?
Oh, you guys played. Sorry.
Was it tequila?
Yeah. Well, I had tequila. I had a couple of things of tequila, and so did Akiva. And I know you were drinking, but I don't remember what you were drinking. But like by the time we got on stage, we were like, oh, yeah, good.
So Jack, I apologize because like you said Bob Dylan, and that was like 15 minutes ago. So I'm sorry. Who's your third?
Oh, I'm sorry.
About
I
that.
can imagine you like ringing me up the next day. I'm really impressed that you remembered that. I'd actually completely the other tangents I was like keeping in the back of my head. That I'd actually forgotten about. I do have an answer. So he's not a musician per se, but he is. He plays with the Hollywood Vampires. Johnny Depp would be my third.
Johnny Depp, awesome.
Because again, we're talking about stories. Like he's got to have the stories, man. He's got
yeah. Did you just hear him and Jeff Beck? They just covered "Isolation" by John Lennon.
No, I have to watch that.
That blew me away. It was so powerful. Oh, especially now with the quarantine. Man. Johnny Depp sings it. Jeff Beck kills it on the guitar. It's like just such a good mix.
Oh, so when at my Hollywood Vampires, the band, if you've heard of those guys, like they're kind of a super group with Alice Cooper, Johnny Depp. I think it's the drummer for Joe Perry from Aerosmith.
Joe Perry, yeah.
I think it's Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses on bass. I might be wrong. But I remember someone told me about it. It was like, oh, that sounds super gimmicky, like Alice Cooper, Johnny Depp. That sounds like just a kind of like just something they're doing for fun or like maybe to rake in a few dollars. And I watched a live concert. I'm like, fuck, these guys are actually really good.
Yeah.
It's just proper like cheesy hair metal rock and roll, you know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah, yeah.
Johnny's a really good guitarist, to be fair.
Yeah, he is. I'm so impressed with how good he is. Like I posted the song "Isolation" and all of my like relatives were like, I didn't know Johnny Depp could sing. And I'm like, have you not seen him in like 2 different Stephen Sondheim musical movies where he sings like Sweeney Todd and Into the Woods? I'm like, he's been in movies where he sings like Broadway, and then he's in the Hollywood Vampires. So he's such a talented guy.
He's a cool guy. He's definitely like, he's an actor, but he's like a rock star that's an actor kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sure. But hey, yeah, John, go ahead.
If you didn't have music, like what would be your other art form? Like if you weren't doing music, would it be acting or like writing or?
If I had to choose, so like I played a show like at a record store a record shop back in England, and they said, okay, you've got half an hour, so 6 songs, and it turned out I actually only played 3 songs because I was talking in between and telling jokes in between songs that much.
Wow.
And I was like, it was kind of like half music, half stand up. So I think if I couldn't, and I love putting on dumb accents and like telling shit dad jokes. So like, yeah, I'd have a crack at stand up comedy for sure.
I could see you doing that. I could see you being successful in that.
Wow, I'd like to hear some of your comedy someday.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh man, just come watch me at a show.
Amazing. Hey Jack, I don't want to keep you all day. I apologize. This one
was
long. I feel bad, but thank you so much for being on here with us. We love talking to you. We love your music. We love your personality, everything about you. We wish you were over here hanging out with us all the time.
Dude,
we have to come over there and hang with you at some point.
Anytime, dude. Anytime you come here, we'll show you the hospitality you guys showed us. Like we'll take you on a crazy night out. We'll have a good time. And thank you so much for having me on there.
And for everybody watching right now, please check out The Length of This Room by Jack Manning. It's an EP on Spotify and I'm sure more streaming services. Please check it out. It's great. Check out Jack. He's the man and you will really enjoy it.
Check it out.
Check it out. Yeah, man. Jack, thank you so much, man. Let's do this again.
Sure,
we'll want more of these. So if anytime you want to come back on, anything else you want to promote, open invite, or if you just want to shoot the shit, talk records or whatever, we'll set up an episode. We'll do it again.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me. It's been really nice seeing you guys again.
You too, man.
You too, brother.
Thank you so much, dude.
Stay safe, all right?
You guys too. Stay safe. Keep your heads above water. Crazy shit.
All right, man. All right, thanks so much, man.
No worries. One love.
See you, man.